Hello there, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land today. My name is Mark and you are watching Marky's Herps. Today I'm going to bring you a long overdue video of my girl, Cherokee, the northern pine snake. I haven't really done a video on Cherokee yet because she didn't really have the best start in my care. The story behind Cherokee is, I bought her through the Ham Reptile Show over in Germany in September. She was hatched out in the summer, well, late summer. And I bought her through basically the Facebook Pituophas group. She arrived maybe 3 days after the show. And she was in a bad way, pretty bad skin folds, thin, you could see her jawbones, you could see her kind of her spine and stuff, and you know, basically if you've ever kept colubrids, you know what they should look like, a nice kind of muscular plump one, you know what that looks like most likely. Because in fairness it is rare that snakes get sick, but it is just all the more harrowing when you do get a sick one, because you know that something's up. I brought Cherokee to the vet maybe a month after I had her in my care, and she started a 2-week course of Baytril, and Baytril is a kind of wide spectrum antibiotic that I think they give to various different species, and that was bags of fun to administer. Basically you have to pry the snake's jaws open and use kind of a little bit of a syringe food pipe thing to get the antibiotic into them. But she underwent 2 weeks of that, and there was no real improvement thereafter. Her stools were really weird looking, and I mean they've only really became somewhat normal looking within the last 2 feeds, to be honest with you. And it is December 23rd when I'm filming this, and the only reason I'm filming this now is because her stools have actually normalised a little bit. When I say they've normalised, the last 2 have been somewhat normal. I want to stress that. It doesn't mean that she's out of the woods yet, so to speak. But there is an improvement, notably. So she had the 2 weeks of Baytril to get back to her story, and that had no real effect. I brought her back to the vet then with a stool sample in tow, and they ran a stool sample parasite analysis, and that came back all clear. And for those of you that don't know, I used Barbara O'Malley out in Bray, County Wicklow, because she is pretty much one of the only vets that somewhat specialises in herpetology, apart from another guy who I actually tried, but he was away at the time. Another guy in Dundrum, don't know his name off the top of my head, but however, parasite test came back clear. So I'm here scratching my head, kind of. This was probably, when would this have been? Jesus, I'd have to consult the old diary, if you bear with me for a sec. This would have been in maybe mid to late November. Okay, she went back for the parasite test. So that came back, and I'm here scratching my head, as I say, thinking, what am I gonna do? Like, what comes next? And I'm thinking all sorts of things, because she has stuck shed now on top of bad stool samples and looking somewhat scrawny. So, you know what, I think to myself in dire straits, and, you know, I've never really uttered this to anyone, but I'm kind of thinking, man, if January comes and she's not showing any notable sign of improvement, then I may have to put her down, to be honest with you, because Every day that I keep a somewhat sick animal in my care, I'm putting my other animals at risk. Don't forget, I have 3 other animals that I've put a lot of time, energy and love into over the last year. I'm actually coming up on a year now in the hobby, and I don't want to put their lives at risk for the sake of one animal, basically, that could endanger their lives. So I'm thinking this in my head, and I kind of think, okay, with that in mind, let's work towards January with the absolute best care that you can supply this animal. Give this animal an absolute fighting chance. And that's what I did. She shed again there maybe a week ago. And I said, okay, this shed is actually going to be kind of the decider here. If she does not shed here, if she does not have the energy to shed, even though I'm pumping these resources into her and I'm monitoring humidity and giving her all this attention, if she still has not got the health in her and the strength in her to shed it out this time, and she still looks really bad, then that'll be kind of one of the final nails in the coffin. But alas, my perseverance and her strength paid off. I sprayed her pretty much every day, a little bit of a mist every day. She just remained undisturbed. I pretty much sprayed, shut the viv, and left her to her own devices, and that paid off. She shed out. I actually ended up kind of assisting her for the last little bit, but she shed out completely. No eye caps retained, no tail tip retained. They're the most important parts to get off, the tail tip and the eye caps. So, you know, with that having completed itself entirely, the shed I mean, I said, you know what, man, good chance now, she could turn a corner. So with that in mind, what I actually supplemented her with over the last few months, guys, is AviPro. AviPro is basically a prebiotic kind of treatment for various different species, including lizards, reptiles, etc. It is a super soluble fiber prebiotic enhanced with vitamin A, C and E. It also contains electrolytes and healthy bacteria. Basically, well, it helps stimulate healthy bacteria growth in your animal's gut. So what I've been doing lately, and I'll put a little bit of a picture-in-picture action here, is basically taking a pinch, just a pinch of this AviPro stuff. Imagine if you wanted to salt your mouse with AviPro. Take that much and dilute it up in about 1 ml of water. This is what I've been doing. Diluting it up in 1 ml of water and injecting it with the same feed tube type thing that I used for the Baytril. I kept a hold of that. Now I scald it between uses because obviously you can't boil it because it's plastic and it'll melt. But I give it a good scalding between uses and I inject the ml of AviPro water solution into the mouse's mouth and into its gut, and that gets fed then to the animal. Do not go over the top with this AviPro stuff because it is a salty kind of substance. It is quite salty. I actually diluted some up and let it dry out on one of the vivs once, just on top. A little drop got on top of one of the vivs and I left it there to dry out just to see what it'd be like, and it dried up like a salt, like a sea salt almost. So you don't want to go over the top with this stuff. Remember the size of the animal you're dealing with and the size of the gut that it's going into. It's going into a tiny body that has to process this stuff, and if you go too much with salt, you're gonna damage kidneys and stuff. So with that in mind, just use it wisely. Also, if you're using any kind of water soluble prebiotic, be careful, because you can take a dehydrated animal and make it even more dehydrated when you put this stuff in the water and it stops drinking. If your animal stops drinking water when you put it in, it means that the animal can smell it and it doesn't want it. It's not palatable to the animal and it won't drink, which is dangerous. So if you find that happening, get rid of AviPro and just knuckle it out with plain old water. Now the video does go black and white in a minute for some reason. I'm using a Logitech 720p webcam, and actually I'll be upgrading my webcam in the new year, so you'll get some better footage. I was thinking of getting a camcorder, but there's no real point, guys, for my applications. I just record the odd video for you guys and upload it at my leisure. It's kind of just a little bit of a side channel for me and a hobby, pretty much my main hobby, to be honest. But I'm not willing to splash out 200 quid on a mediocre camcorder when I could splash out 40 quid on a really nice Logitech 1080p webcam. Really fucking nice, man. If you have not yet looked up Logitech's webcam range, look it up, because to be honest, I probably wouldn't change to any other brand now, because I'm so happy with my Logitech 720p. I bought it on a budget and it was the best my money could buy. But anyway, guys, yeah, it's December 23rd now, and as you can see, she's getting this really big mouse down her. I'm sure it was a bit of a challenge for her, because it's the biggest thing she's eaten yet, but she gets it down. These pine snakes and pituophas in general have a pretty large head for a colubrid and a pretty fast metabolism, so they're able to get those bigger meals down versus something with more of a slender head like a corn snake or a garter snake or something like that. So don't worry. Anyway, guys, that's Cherokee. Wish me and her the best of luck in the new year. Hopefully she turns this corner now. You can actually see as well, she has nice shiny head scales as well, which is a good sign that her health might be taking a upwards turn. Wish us the best. Hopefully her stools come out nice from this chocolatey brown snake, or chocolatey brown mouse. I've never wanted so much for a piece of shit to just look normal. I've never been so excited for shit as I have been with this girl. She's taught me a lot so far. I've learned how to medicate snakes. I've learned how to deal with sick snakes. I've learned that perseverance and patience is key. And hopefully whatever it is that was going on with her was stress related, and she can get it under control soon. So stay tuned for a vivarium project video that will be going up in the new year. I have a few bits coming together for 2 new vivariums, 3-foot Reptihome Viv Exotic vivariums that Idun and Brazen will be calling home. So that will be really exciting. Hopefully I can film it on my new webcam and bring you guys some really good quality. I have 2 real roe deer skulls that just arrived today. They will make kick-ass ornaments. I have IKEA LEDs for lighting. Really gonna be nice vivs, guys. Really gonna be nice. I'm gonna try and make videos on each and every step to give you guys the utmost entertainment. So I'm gonna bid you guys adieu with some time-lapse footage now of her just finishing up. Make sure to take it handy. If you have it handy, why not take it twice? Make sure to leave a like on the video, comment and subscribe if you have not already. My name is Mark and you are watching Marky's Herps. Have a good one, good luck. Happy Christmas, you cunt.